Hi, I'm Nihir. How's it going? In this episode of our podcast series, we will talk about earthquakes. What are they? Why do they keep happening? What can we do to protect ourselves? So, let's start. First, let's talk about what an earthquake is. An earthquake is an intense shaking of Earth's surface. The shaking is caused by movements in Earth's outermost layer. An earthquake is a result of two blocks of world suddenly slipping past another. So, it is basically a natural disaster. It is happening suddenly, but how can we record them? There is an invention called seismograph, and we use them for recording and measuring the earthquake. Seismographs turn the movement of the earth to some lines, and these lines shows us how big the earthquake was. All of these information shows us that we can't stop earthquakes from happening, but there are some things that we can do before, during, and after an earthquake. Let's start with the things that we should do before an earthquake. Preparing before earthquakes is very important, so it is important to have a family meeting and be sure that everybody knows what an earthquake is and the plan. The plan includes the safe places at home, emergency exits, and what steps we should take after an earthquake. After this, there should be an emergency bag, and everybody should know where it is. This bag must have some water and food, shelter, first aid, some hygiene products, a blanket, a device for communication, a whistle, and a light. Then we should protect our home. Securing heavy objects at your home is important because they can cause some dangerous scenarios during the earthquake. So be sure that your bookshelves, refrigerator, and some objects on your wall are secured. And putting some heavy objects to lower shelves can also help. Also, we should check if our building is ready for an earthquake. If the building is too old or not earthquake resistant, it should be fixed as soon as possible. So, this was what should we do before an earthquake. Let's talk about during the earthquake. During an earthquake, the most important thing is staying calm, because knowing what you're gonna do can save your life. 3 movements are important during earthquakes: drop, cover, hold on. It doesn't matter wherever you are, the first thing that you should do is drop down your hands and knees and hold on to something sturdily. Then cover your head with your hands and stay near an object, like a table, like your bed, but stay near them, not under them. If you're under a table or desk, hold on with one hand and be ready to move with it if it moves. Stay away from the doors and windows during an earthquake. Don't run to the balcony, don't use the elevator, and don't try to go out during the earthquake. These steps are the most common mistakes that people make when they're scared, but they're extremely dangerous. This is what you should do if you're indoors. If you're in a car during an earthquake, then stop your car and set your parking brake. If you're outdoors, stay outdoors, but away from the buildings, especially from the high buildings. And let's talk about what to do after an earthquake. If you were in a building during the earthquake, then be sure that you're okay with your health. Then check around for people you can help. There can be serious hazards after an earthquake, such as damage to a building, leaking gas and water lines, or downed power lines. So quickly go up from the building and find a place which doesn't have high buildings and find another people who are also affected by the earthquake. If you're trapped, stay calm and check your body for any injuries. If you can't move, don't try to make something move, because this can turn back negatively. Wait for the rescue team, try to make some noise. You can scream, or if you can move, you can use a whistle. If you don't have one, there are some apps for it which makes noises for these times. Let's talk about some little details too, because even if they're just some details, they can help people out. First, communication. The internet and phone lines become busy and hard to use when an earthquake hits because everyone is trying to communicate with each other. But if you're okay, then send some messages to your siblings or friends and try not to use the internet and phone line a lot because there might be some people who are trapped somewhere and just trying to communicate with rescue groups or trying to tell where they are. All in all, there is no need to be scared if you know what an earthquake is and what you should do when an earthquake hits. I gave some basic steps to help, but if you want to learn more, you can find some articles and some videos of professors too. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I hope this podcast helped you. If there are some points that you want to add, you can write them down in the comments section. Have a nice day!